How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to another video on the channel. It seems like you guys like the How to Beat series where I show gameplay reviews of branded versus meta decks. So we're going to do that today, but before we begin, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and let's kick this off immediately. Today, we're playing Vanquish Soul. Vanquish Soul is a new deck. It's a really cool deck in my opinion, and it's kind of like those mid-range control-y decks that has a lot of explosive power, and we're going to be looking how it kind of plays out today, where to interrupt the deck, and how to play it with branded. And of course, every build that you see here is just experimental builds that I play. Sometimes they are different from what I show on my deck profiles, but you know, overall, I want to try out a range of decks. And here we are playing ad libitum, and I think this is a very vanilla version of the deck with like a lot of power. No puppet, no stuff like that, just like pure branded. Make sure to resolve branded fusion, just go nuts. And yeah, opening hand, we have Ash, Adlib, Fusion Deployment, Opening, and Branded Fusion. Very good hand, especially with the Adlib in hand. It's a great discard for opening. And then they have Kashtira, Fenrir, Pantera, evenly matched. So it might be like a going second variant even. They have Dr. Madlove and Dogaran. So we're going to see me going first here. Deployment. So usually what you would do is go for opening in the draw phase to play around things like Droll and Effect Veiler. But if you open a combination of these two, or even Aluber and Deployment, then you want to summon the Cartesia first, of course, because Cartesia can protect Aluber from Imperm, Veiler, and even Gamma to just gain a body and not lose the body for free. So you always want to start with that. We've seen some YCS plays where the players didn't do that, and unfortunately it cost them because here they don't have a negate, but if they do, I mean, you need to get the Cartesia on the field anyway. So Aluber effect. Here in this hand, we already have Branded Fusion, and we don't really have a way of not losing to Ash here. We already used the opening, so we can't get Quem. And we just want to resolve loss. So even if we go for, you know, even if we get ashed on Branded Fusion here, Branded Lost means that we get a Grand Guignol, we have an Ad Libitum in the graveyard, and we get something off of Lost, and we have Ash, which is still pretty good, to be honest. So that resolves. The line I wanted to go for here is I need to get it in red, right? The goal here is to have in red in your end board because you have ad libitum. That means you will have several, you'll have like 2 Mirror Jades, Chimera, stuff like that. And of course it plays really well around evenly, which we're gonna see in a second. So I went for this here, and then I needed a discard, so I went for a Lost Search first. I needed a discard for, I didn't want to discard the Ash Blossom, so I went for the Albion because I knew I was going to discard it. Then this can send Retribution to the graveyard, and I can recycle stuff. So it's not just like a dead card. It's a discard with value. Lubellion, pitch, shuffle back, tribute, the Albion in red, end phase. So we have here a Cartesia that I didn't need to activate. So the reason why I don't use Cartesia here is so I can get Mercurier on the next turn. So now I already resolved Lost. I didn't have enough to discard. I already have access to Albion and Ad Libitum. There's no reason for me to go for Grand Guignol here. So I wait for my opponent's turn to activate Cartesia. Then I can activate Lost and get Mercurier. So that's another negate. This is why I leave it on the board here. So our opponent draws Stake Your Soul. They go to battle phase, and we know that we're going to be hit with evenly matched. So a lot of time, this could actually be bait. Your opponent can just say battle phase. They go to battle phase. You like banish with a Mirror J and stuff like that to get value. Then they just pass on to main phase 1 because maybe they didn't open anything and they just want to bait your effects. But here, this is the perfect way. Like our setup here, we didn't know we were going to be playing around evenly matched, but this is the perfect setup around evenly matched. So we are going to lose the Cartesia. What I should have done is actually, during the main phase, I should have activated Cartesia. This was a misplay on my part here. Should definitely activated this, because now Lost, I'm not going to be able to get the value off of Lost. So this was a misplay, probably like snoozed on this. So you are supposed to activate Cartesia here, get the search off of Lost for the next turn, because you know you're going to be hit with evenly, and you want this in the graveyard anyway, right? But this was a misplay on my part. So here what you're supposed to do is chain the in red to the evenly matched. Not before. You need to chain it so that on resolution, when it's not on the field, you can resolve ad libitum. So we get ad libitum here. And I wanted to also banish the Cartesia face up just in case, right? Because I know I'm going to be using this Mirror Jade again. It's going to be live in a second. So I activate the Mirror Jade in chain to Brandon Red, just not to have a lot of cards banished face down by this effect. Then from here, you know, you just make a Dragos Tapelia, and on resolution, you activate Ad Libitum to summon back. So basically, you end on a very similar board. They Kaiju me here. This cannot activate because it's not fusion summoned. It was summoned by Ad Libitum. And they special Fenrir. Fenrir effect is fine. There's no reason for me to stop it. I don't really know what he's playing at the moment. So I know like I got evenly matched. So it's kind of like, it's probably not Kastura, right? So I did not assume, I was, at the beginning I thought that since I got hit with the Dogoran, I thought this was just going second dinos, to be honest. But yeah. Stake your soul, reveal, and summon from with another attribute. Ashdad, this is basically Kastura Theosis, right? It means that they need another one. Basically, their goal is to get a Raisin. Raisin is the main best searcher of the deck, and it means that they don't have it. Now they can still summon Mad Love, get a spell and trap, but it doesn't really matter because if they don't have Raisin, then they only have the ones that they open in hand, and maybe that's not the right attributes that they need. So he gets this. This does nothing against our deck, honestly, except for like Book of Moon to protect from battle. Link 1, bring it back to hand so they can summon it next turn. Set 1, and then during the end phase here, I'm just gonna, you know, negate the Fenrir. So that I'm gonna, because this is once per turn you can put a counter. So I negate this here during this turn, and then on my opponent's turn, if they activate the rock, then I can negate it as well, and basically they won't have any summons. End phase, Albion, get Brandon Fusion, because we don't really have anything else. This is a pretty good combination, obviously. And here, I do, since this resolved, I know there's no Ash, and I know this is useless, so I'm gonna go for a Lubellion line here to get this. But basically, they're not gonna have any plays anymore. I can shuffle back the Albion because it's full on Valbaz. Basically, this is gonna be just game on board. And with the Aluber, just more extension. So, now I open the evenly match, but unfortunately I don't open enough engine. Like, I have a way to get a Luber, but it's super fragile here. So Pantera just special summons from the hand. Raisin is the one you want to hit all the time. This gets to another monster, and this gets him to the one that draws cards, the Heavy Borger. And, you know, it draws 2 cards. It's just a Heat Soul. It's kind of crazy. So you negate that. Then they return it to the hand. So next turn, they're going to be able to summon this on my turn. But hopefully that's not... Because look at what it leaves him with, right? He has Ash Talons. These are pretty good. But, like, this summons from the graveyard. These do, like, nothing, right? They need to summon this. Then this gets to the big guy or the Borger. And that's it, basically. So Foolish. Here, any interruption on the Aluber kind of stops it. But, yeah, they do have Ash. So this hand under Ash does nothing. The reason why I don't go for evenly matched here, even though it might have been, like, it's not that effective against this board because they're still going to end on a Vanquish Soul Monster, and they're still going to have a way to summon other Raisin. So it's not really worth it to get 2 cards out of the way and lose the battle phase. So Liber grabs Brandon Fusion gets Ashed. Then I just want to extend and put pressure on the board. Serenir, Razor gets the Caesar Valius, and some trash talking in the chat. I attack the Raisin here, then they bring back the Raisin to the hand so they can summon it again, summon it. Now this can pop the column, so it can pop the Aluber here. Reveal, Fire, and Dark. They tag this out, reveal 3, pop 1. The reason why I don't scoop here, by the way, they don't like play into Nibiru at all. They draw 2 because this is like a control deck. They need their advantage. Now they get the Borger. And basically they have game on board if they use the second effect. Because this can, not this one, sorry. It was Mad Love, this Borger. can just burn for 15. I didn't scoop because I wanted to see if they used the effect, but they did. So yeah, I go first, game 3, Vanquish Soul. Pretty lousy hand, to be honest. Like, again, if this Aluber gets hit, it's over. Eradicator, that's interesting. Fenrir, Raisin, the Book of Moon, and Bell. Bell is really good versus this deck. They probably think I'm on the Papa shit. You know I'm not. Branded Fusion resolves. We go for the Albion line here just to have a setup. We know we have Adlib to discard off of Lubellion. So basically, it's Mirror Jade plus in red for Ad Libitum plus Ash plus Mercurier. Insane. Tons of interruption. Unlimited follow-up. You don't need more than that. I'm kind of surprised they didn't hit it with Bell. But yeah. I discard, so the Adlib is in the grave. Thankfully, I have the Mercurier here to negate that. There's no way I don't negate that, because otherwise the board is much less impactful. Mirror J, Tribute, get lost, set, and pass. Basically, this board plays around. Evenly matched, this board does everything for the deck. Like a setup of, you know, branded lost, because they can't bell it, right? They cannot negate the activation under branded lost, just so you know that. So that's great. Now we have that. Mirror Jade, it's going to be double Mirror Jade and like a Draco's Tepelion or a Chimera in Ash. There's no deck that can break this board, honestly. Fenrir here, the reason why I immediately banish it is just for card advantage. I know that here specifically, they have Raisin, and Raisin needs to resolve so they can do something. But here, if I let them get the Fenrir, right, they have another Earth in hand, and it's just not good against this deck. There's no real target for me to banish because they're not super weak to removal, right? Because they have quick effects to tag out. But in this specific scenario, I just, you know, they have 4 cards in hand, right? I just banish this because I know I have so much follow-up. Like, I have another Mirror Jade, I have another Chimera. It's basically over. Banish it, Raisin gets ashed immediately, and then branded in red so they can't go into the Link 1 immediately to pop 2. And basically, that's over. This was Vanquish Soul. I hope you guys enjoyed it, learned a few things. Leave a thumbs up on the video, subscribe if you are new, and of course, leave a comment down below. What do you think about this game? Vanquish Soul is a deck that I honestly want to play myself, but again, it has its weaknesses, and we just saw a pure branded version, no puppet shit, just the power of in red, Mirror Jade, and Ad Libitum like the old school days. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.